Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? Well, the answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. When I started using Anchor to do my podcast, it was so extremely easy that I haven't even bothered to look for another app to use. I love this app. It's the only one I deal with, the only one I even recommend, period. I recommend you get on there ASAP. If you want to start a podcast, this is definitely the place to go. It's easy. You can drive around and record. You can sit in your basement and record. You can do it anywhere. It's fantastic. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start, anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the Really Rich Podcast. As always, your host, your humble, gracious host, Adam Rich here. I love talking to you guys each and every chance that I get. And I know that we always talk about all kinds of different things about life and everything. And the one topic that, I don't know, maybe you guys have even been wondering my views or thoughts on it. And I really want to know everybody's view and thought on this. But we got to talk about the vaccine. I'm not for it or against it. I'm not attacking it or pushing it or anti-it or all for it or anything like that. I want to have an honest, unbiased conversation here. I guess a one-sided conversation, roughly. But no, we got to talk about what is going on here. From an unbiased, I'm going to try. I don't want to make this a political thing. I don't want to make this my view against your view or my view against this view or somebody else's view or anything like that. This is not about attacking views or anything. But we just need to be honest about what this is, what is happening, what your, the stuff that is being pushed, the viewpoints that are being pushed. We need to be able to talk about this openly and honestly. I live in America. I don't know whoever's listening to this, whether you live in America or wherever you're listening to this from. Just know that the country of America has always been founded on the number one principle has always been about freedom of speech. It doesn't mean that you have to be correct about everything that you say. It means that you have the freedom to be able to say anything that you want to say. And if it's crazy or stupid or wrong, lies, or facts, whatever it is that you're saying, you have the ability in America, you used to at least, have the ability to say anything that you want, with the consequence being whatever it is that you said was going to be criticized in whichever way, however people wanted to. Meaning, if somebody liked what you had to say, they could applaud it, they could agree, they could keep it to themselves. And if they didn't agree, they could really not agree. They could want to fight you for it. It just, they could be mad at you. They could want evil things done to you. They could wish ill upon you because of the things you said. You were allowed to at least say it, but people didn't have to agree. And now we're moving into a weird time, ever since the pandemic, really. Actually, even before that, if you think about it, all the censoring that was going on, that has been going on for a while with social medias, but we're getting to a point in time now where all forms of communication are being done online. But in order to do that, you have to use certain software or you have to use certain programs in order to do that. And we all kind of agree Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and YouTube are the most common places really to socialize. And when you have people in charge of those platforms and they can dictate whether or not you're allowed to speak on them, And now we've gotten into being a digital social society. If you get kicked off of a platform, you are now essentially kicked out of society. Because sure, you can go live your life in the physical world, in the reality world, but when we have so much of our lives put on social media now, and you are just eliminated from it, you essentially now don't have a voice. And it's not even the government that's doing it. It's a platform company. But if the government can, let's say, hypothetically, pay the social media companies or maybe make deals with them, and I'm not saying this is happening, I'm just saying hypothetically, if they felt like doing this, they could essentially shut you down from being allowed to talk, which is like what Donald Trump is going. He can't speak. I mean, you'd never hear on social media. He has to put out statements that are then shared from other people. So it's never him like doing his own channel on his own thing. Like, I don't know if he is doing this. I mean, I've heard rumor that he is, but I don't know that it's official. What he should do is create his own social media platform. The problem is then you also have to be on Android or, well, I don't know where you are in the world, but in the West or whatever, it's Android in the Apple Store. So if you cannot get your app, your platform on one of those two stores, if those stores agree to not allow you on there, even if Donald Trump made his own platform, he might still not be able to reach people. So we're in a very scary place now to where it's not even necessarily the governments that have to do this, although I do believe that they could get themselves involved if they feel like it. We're in a place now where people can just shut you down and eliminate your ability to talk. And it's a scary thing because when we are such a heavy society, or a society that is heavy on our science and what is factually true, and we rely on institutions to tell us the truth about science, we're in a very dangerous place now because the science doesn't even have to be official or conclusive anymore. It just has to be common consensus. And then if you say the opposite of that common consensus, you're considered spreading misinformation, and in which case they will eliminate or block your post. And in which case, we don't know the full scope of everything that is, going on with COVID itself and with the vaccine itself and all of the science and all of the cases. And, the studies are not conclusive. And so what's really dangerous is that, if you say anything against the vaccine or COVID, even if it's 100% true, what you're saying, they're still blocking people's ability to see it because in their view, the people that run the platforms, the people that are in charge of allowing you to be seen or banning your shadow banning you, blocking your post, those people that are in charge are deciding that what you're saying is not good. So therefore, or not, it doesn't agree with them. And therefore they just block you from being able to be seen altogether. The problem is what if you're right and you're not being seen? You could essentially be helping to save lives, and these people that are in charge that don't like your narrative are essentially stopping you from helping the world. We don't know. And to think that something so new to the world, like COVID, yes, coronavirus has been around. We've at least known about it since I believe the 60s it was, maybe even sooner than that. We've known about coronaviruses, but this newest strain, the COVID-19 strain, is very new. So we don't know the long-term effects about especially the vaccine. The vaccine's way newer. So we don't know the long-term effects. I'm talking 5 years, 10 years. It's sad because people are out there saying, they're pushing you to take it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. This is not what this is about. So before we get shut down and banned for that, I just want to be very clear. I'm not trying to give medical advice here. I'm just saying from an unbiased, pure, logical standpoint, if we don't know conclusively what this thing can do to you long term, why would we be out there just openly telling the world to just go ahead and take it and that it's safe? We don't know long term if it's safe. It does seem to show that in the short term, the majority of cases seem to be doing fine, but there has been cases of people not doing fine after getting vaccinated. And so that doesn't mean that the vaccine itself is bad or that the vaccine itself is the problem. Maybe something within that person's body is not reacting with the vaccine, but that person doesn't even know that it's in their body. Maybe the person's body has something in it that is the problem, and we don't know. And that's the thing, is like, to just tell people you have to take it in order to buy grocery, like to survive life. It's very strange. It's very Orwellian for those that don't know the book 1984. But Orwell wrote some wild stuff, and I think everybody should read that, because a lot of what you see going on in the world today is essentially written about in this book about the future. And it sounds like the future's here, is what it sounds like. But it's just scary times that we're living in, because now you're getting house and friend, like house divided, friend divided, family divided, school and work. You're getting people divided on this and being called anti-vaxxers. Like, it's a very strange thing, because the majority of the people that I run into are not anti-vax. They're just saying that they don't want to take it in. They don't want to put something in their body that they don't know how it's going to respond. They just don't want to take that risk, because people have died from it. And I'm not saying that they died because the vaccine is bad. I'm saying that something in their body did not react well with them getting injected with this stuff, and therefore it cost them their life. And there's a lot of people that do not want to take that risk. Now, granted, are most people surviving? Yeah. And that should be known. That should be documented. It's not like the majority of people are dying from it. What I'm saying is the fact that some are, and we don't know exactly why they are, is a common, I mean, it should be cause for some people to be a little concerned. And if you still feel like you want to take it, then do that. If you feel like that is the safest approach for you, I'm not trying to push, or I'm not trying to talk people into doing anything one way or the other. I'm just saying, in general, the logical thing in my mind is that if I feel like, that I feel safer by taking it, then I should take it. If I feel safer not taking it, then I should not take it. But you should never be forced into taking it. You should never be pushed or coerced into taking it, because you just don't know. But if you feel like you want to do it, or you think you should, then you shouldn't let other people talk you out of it either. It's your decision for your body. Only you can make that call. But to think that the government should be trying to tell you that you shouldn't be allowed to go places, like, this is the point, and I'm going to close with this, because this is what I think is very important for most people to think about. Because I don't think it's the question every time I ask this, nobody has an answer. Nobody really knows what to say. And it's not because I'm so awesome with my questioning. It's that this is a really concerning thing, that when the media has brainwashed and twisted the way people think about vaccines. And I'm going to give you this question this is the big thing. This is what's so important. And I don't think too many people realize it until you hear it laid out like this. But the thing is, when you are a child and you're getting your vaccines, especially here in America, that's a big common thing for, I don't know how vaccine things are in other countries around the world. I don't know what the protocol is. I don't know what people do when they're young, when they're older, whatever. But I know this much. Here in America, usually when you're an infant or a young child, or I guess an early teen, you get a series of vaccines that have been around for a long time. We know a lot of science on them. We know a lot of information on it. And we know the long-term effects and how the body handles it and everything. When you're a child, usually your parents take you to get vaccinated from a lot of these different things. Polio, and there's a few other ones. I'm blanking on the names of them off the top of my head. But you take your kid to get vaccinated in these things that have been around for a long time. The COVID thing is brand new. So that thing, we can't possibly know long-term reports or long-term studies on something so brand new. We can't possibly know how this thing is going to respond in 5 years or 10 years of existing in your body and reacting. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad. It might be great. It might make you turn into a superhero, or it might make you healthier. I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to respond. It might be phenomenal. It might be awful. Who knows? Or it might do nothing to you. And, or it might, you know what I'm saying? It might be just fine. So the point is, though, is that the other vaccines you already know stuff about. We have a long history of them, and they're very common. We've been doing them for many years, most of them. When you're a child, you get those vaccines, and here's the thing. When your parent takes you to get vaccinated, or you decide to take on those vaccines, here's how this plays out. If you're a parent right now, you'll definitely understand this. If you're a parent and you have taken your children to get vaccinated, you definitely know what I'm talking about. And if you're a person who has parents that have gotten you vaccinated, this is very important for you as well. This is the question I want everyone to ask. When you were a child and your parents took you to get vaccinated, or you're a parent and you take your children to get vaccinated, when the child is getting vaccinated, do you get vaccinated as a child? Do you get vaccinated to protect the world from you? Or do you get vaccinated to protect you from the world? And I want you to really think about this, because this is extremely important. Right now, the media is pushing around the world, mind you, that you're a bad person if you don't get vaccinated because of the damage you can do to the world. If you don't get vaccinated, you are the problem and you are causing other people to die. It's the things that they're going to try to tell you. They're trying to guilt you into taking a vaccine so that way the world can feel safe from you. But when you were a child, when you got all the other vaccines, when everyone in the history of the world has ever gotten vaccinated for anything up until COVID hit, every single person that's ever been vaccinated before, especially as a child, when a parent takes you to get vaccinated, it's always been you get vaccinated to protect you from the world. It's never been you get vaccinated to protect the world from you. And that's what the media is pushing right now. That's what the governments are pushing. If you're from America, you hear Joe Biden talking about it all the time. The anti-vaxxers are causing the sickness. The anti-vaxxers are doing this. No. You get vaccinated to protect you from getting the sickness, the virus. Your parents take you to get vaccinated as a child to protect the child from potential polio, all the other viruses. You get vaccinated to protect you. So if you want to go get vaccinated to protect from COVID, then that's fine. Go do that. But know that it's to protect you. And don't think for a second that anybody on the planet nobody else should have to get vaccinated to protect you. You get vaccinated to protect you. And people need to start waking up to that. Because the entire world is being coerced into getting a vaccine without any kind of long time history or knowledge about what it could do to you. And it may be fine. It may be awesome. The point is we don't know. And if we're being honest, unbiased, the logical thing to do is figure out the science before you just jump right in to doing anything. I'm not telling you to take it or not take it. I do not care at all what anybody does with their own actions and their own choices. I am not trying to push you in one direction or the other. So if you think that's where this is headed, it isn't. All I'm saying is, never in the history of time have we gotten our children vaccinated to protect the world from the child. It has always been you get vaccinated to protect you. So if you want to feel protected, if you think the vaccine is going to make you feel more protected, then you should go ahead and get that for you because you think that fmakes you feel safer. But never, ever tell someone else that they need to or morally should, it'll morally make them a better person if they get vaccinated to protect you. That's not what vaccines are for. You don't get vaccinated to protect other people. You get vaccinated to protect you. So if you want to get vaccinated to protect you, you should go ahead and do that however you want. If you do not want to get vaccinated because you don't feel like putting that in you and you don't know where it's going or whatever, or you just want to wait, you just want to be patient, you just want to check it out and see the science for a little while, then that's what you should do for you too. But to ever try to tell somebody else that they should be vaccinated to make you feel better, they need to get vaccinated so they can go out in public. No. That is not how any vaccine has ever been treated. And if anyone is encouraged to think that they need to start worrying about the vax status of other people, then I encourage you to treat all of the vaccines the same way. Don't just ask for COVID. I want to know all of your vaccines. I want to know all of your vaccine history. Never in the history of time have we ever gone out in public and been like, man, I wonder if they got their polio vaccine. If they didn't, then shame on them, because even though I'm vaccinated, the person that isn't vaccinated could give me polio today. Never have we thought like that. And that's what the media is trying to convince you of now. I just want people to wake up to that. I love you guys so much. I thank you so much. Please do some serious thinking about this. It is extremely important. Do not let the media, the government, your friends, your family, do not let anybody manipulate you into thinking you should feel like a bad guy if you don't do exactly what they're telling you should do. Telling you that you should do. You make the decision for yourself. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Do not let other people push you into doing anything you don't feel comfortable with. Treat it like the Democrats have always said about the abortion stuff. My body, my choice. If you don't want to get it, don't. If you do, do. God bless you, all of you. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.